Good evening, and welcome back to News Around, the definitive sanctuary for those who believe that the truest stories are often the ones whispered in the margins of the headlines. We do not just report the news, we unravel the complex tapestry of human emotion that drives the industry we all follow with such devotion. Tonight, we stand at the precipice of a narrative so compelling, so ripe with nostalgia and unanswered questions, that it threatens to rewrite the history of Turkish television's most beloved era. If you are ready to look past the press releases and stare directly into the heart of a developing storm, you have found your home. Before we begin this journey through the shadowed streets of Istanbul and the bright lights of Rome, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell. And for those true connoisseurs of the story who wish to support independent, high-caliber journalism, please consider clicking the join button below. Your membership allows us to chase these stories to their very ends. Now, let us turn our gaze to Italy, where a single sentence shattered years of silence. It began not amidst the familiar chaotic symphony of Istanbul's seagulls and minarets, but under the clinically brilliant, unforgiving glare of a television studio in Rome. On the surface, it was intended to be a routine, by-the-book promotional interview, the sort of choreographed dance where superstars offer polished smiles, recite memorized anecdotes about their latest victories, and politely but firmly sidestep any inquiries that might pierce their armor. Çağatay Ulusoy, a man whose career has become a masterclass in international poise and magnetic stoicism, sat there as the very picture of composure. He spoke of new horizons, of the artistic liberation found in travel, and the relentless whirlwind of building a legacy beyond his borders. Yet, precisely in the middle of these rehearsed, glossy answers, a hairline fracture appeared in the porcelain. Speaking with a sudden softness that seemed at war with the harsh studio lighting, he confessed, "I miss certain things about Istanbul. There are specific places, and specific people, that eventually become part of your bloodstream." The host, a veteran of the industry who knows exactly when to press a bruise, caught the unmistakable note of yearning in his voice and fired an arrow straight into the heart of the rumor mill. Hazal Kaya? In that instant, time itself seemed to stall. In a moment where 99 out of 100 actors would have deflected with a joke, laughed it off, or pivoted back to the safety of the script, Çağatay did none of these things. Instead, he offered a smile that was a complex tapestry of sweetness and ache, looking down at his hands as if they held a map written in a language he could no longer read, and murmured a sentence that would travel across the Mediterranean in seconds. Some feelings do not wash away easily. This brings us to a profound question for our News Around family. Do you believe that first loves are merely chapters we finish, or do they remain as ghosts that walk beside us forever? Was Çağatay's confession a moment of weakness, or a deliberate signal? We want to read your deepest theories in the comments section below. And while you are there, let us know, which other on-screen legendary couples do you think still harbor secret feelings? Your insights drive our narrative. That singular sentence was the spark that ignited a digital wildfire. The shippers, those hopeful souls who had kept the candle burning for years, felt validated, but even the most optimistic dreamers could not have predicted the cascade of events that would unfold mere days later. The first domino fell at Rome's Fiumicino airport. Paparazzi lenses, usually seeking glamour, instead captured a man in retreat. Çağatay was not heading for another glamorous foreign set or a film festival red carpet, he was clutching a one-way ticket to Istanbul. He was dressed to blend into the anonymity of the crowd, head bowed, offering no statements to the press. Yet, his face betrayed him. It wore an expression of nostalgia braided tightly with a grim resolve. An Italian media outlet quoted a source deeply embedded in his circle, and that detail changed the texture of the entire story. This journey was not about professional obligations. He closed his cycles here with abrupt finality. There is something he needs to face at home, a personal matter he can no longer leave undone. And yes, Hazal is the gravitational center of this return. Istanbul received this news like a parched city hearing the first thunderclaps of a long-awaited storm. From the chic boutiques of Nizantasi to the vibrant chaos of Kadıköy, the whispers flew faster than the wind. When photographers finally caught Hazal Kaya leaving a commercial shoot, her reaction was a masterpiece of poise under extreme pressure. With a smile that trembled ever so slightly at the edges, a crack in her own armor, she replied to the barrage of questions with cryptic elegance. Anyone can come back when they feel the pull. Istanbul waits for all of us. But we know that the truest stories are not written in public statements, they live in the microscopic details. Those within the actress's inner sanctum noticed a seismic shift. She became quieter, more inward, her gaze constantly drifting beyond the present moment. Most tellingly, she cancelled 2 major business meetings in a single week, an anomaly for a professional celebrated for her military-grade discipline and punctuality. Was this merely a coincidence, or the behavior of a woman preparing for a collision? Then came the tremor that rattled the gossip universe to its core. A mysterious vehicle was observed idling in Hazal's quiet neighborhood. The driver stepped out, entered a local luxury florist, and selected not the cliché of red roses, but a massive arrangement of white lilies. In the language of flowers, lilies are the symbols of clean slates, of second dawns, the kind of offering one brings when they are not chasing a fleeting spark but attempting to foster a profound rebirth. With this symbolic bouquet in hand, the figure moved toward a well-known residence. He went in and did not emerge for hours, reported a neighbor who preferred to remain a nameless shadow, speaking as if too loud a voice might break a fragile enchantment. Was it truly her home? There is no official confirmation, but the pieces on the chessboard aligned in a way that defied the laws of accident. The very next day, the confirmation arrived. Not via a press release, but through the silent language of imagery. Hazal posted a story on her Instagram, a simple tableau featuring a cup of steaming coffee, an open book, and that distinctive cluster of white lilies set gently on the table. There was no caption, no background music, no tags. Just the image. Within minutes, the comment section became a tidal wave of realization. We knew it. Çağatay and Hazal are finding their way through the fog again. Real love bends, but it never snaps. Neither of them uttered a syllable publicly, yet the air between them buzzed with an electromagnetic charge that was almost visible to the naked eye. The narrative escalated at a high-profile charity function later that week. A fearless reporter, sensing the moment, asked Çağatay straight out, "Did you return specifically for her?" Unshaken, his voice calm but resonating with the depth of things left unspoken, he answered, "There are stories that deserve to continue." As the public tried to read these tea leaves, the narrative kept unfurling as if destiny itself were sitting in the director's chair. Turkish media went into overdrive. Talk shows, blogs, and even serious newscasts devoted segments to the return. Was it truly for work, or did the heart call him home? A renowned entertainment journalist hypothesized during a live broadcast, he didn't just drift back. He was away for months, building a fortress abroad, but everything suggests a bond he never truly tied it up. And that bond has a name, Hazal. Meanwhile, Hazal's circle formed a protective, quiet perimeter around her. A close friend admitted a detail that sent shivers down the spine of the industry. She wasn't prepared for it. When she heard he was physically in Istanbul, she stayed silent for a long time, exhaled a breath she seemed to have been holding for years, and whispered, "What am I supposed to do with this now?" It was a short line, but one heavy with old wounds and the terrifying vertigo of daring possibilities. Was it the fear of being hurt again? Or the dizziness that comes when life offers a second, unexpected door? Fans split down the middle. Some pleaded for caution, writing, "Don't let your heart outrun the truth, this could still be work." Others were convinced the wheel of fate had turned, that ending wasn't an ending at all. It was a pause. Now the film is playing again. Hashtags with their names simmered at the top of the trends for days, a digital chorus longing for a soft landing. The signs kept stacking up like a tower of evidence. 2 nights after the mysterious floral visit, they appeared. Not side by side, but under the same roof at a discreet, dimly lit restaurant in Nizantasi. He arrived first, flanked by his manager to maintain a veneer of business. An hour later, she slipped in through a side entrance with a friend. No photograph showed them at the same table, but several witnesses swore on their honor that, partway through the evening, he rose and walked toward a private room in the back, precisely the same room where Hazal had disappeared mere minutes earlier. A rendezvous in the shadows, away from the predatory lenses and flashes. That night, she posted again, a photo of a page from a notebook that read in elegant, handwritten script, "Some doors shut by themselves, others wait for your knock." The line felt like a signal flare, and the city received it as one. The following day, he added his own echo to the conversation, a black and white photo on his feed, devoid of a caption, but accompanied by Tieleman's haunting track Vulva. The one word that says it all: return. The symmetry was impossible to ignore. Another piece solidified the tale when whispers from Italy suggested that negotiations for his next major series had been indefinitely put on hold. He wants space to reevaluate. He is looking through a different lens now, claimed an insider from the channel eyeing the project. The idea that his priority had shifted from lucrative contracts to fragile feelings took deeper root in the public consciousness. On her side, outlets murmured that Hazal had instructed her team to enforce near-total privacy. Interviews were declined. A scheduled appearance at a major fashion event vanished from her calendar. Collaborations slowed to a hush. Alert followers noticed that she removed a recent campaign with an Italian brand from her profile highlights. Was this a way to redraw the boundaries that tied her to a chapter abroad? Or a way to clear room in her present for what had returned home? Speculation spiraled out of control. Istanbul's sidewalks became stages, with photographers posted like sentries outside every familiar doorway. Questions chased them both at every fleeting public moment. Are you together again? Are you trying once more? Is reconciliation in sight? They neither confirmed nor denied. In that profound silence, the small signs grew thunderous. At the opening of a charity exhibition, he was cornered one final time. "Your fans are desperate to know if there is hope," a reporter pressed. He smiled, and there was a brightness in his eyes that had been absent for a long while. "Hope doesn't vanish easily," he replied, his voice steady. "Sometimes we return not to repeat the past, but to reshape it into something new." By then, even the most cynical skeptics had to admit the obvious: his presence in Istanbul was not casual. And she, though marked by yesterday's hurts, seemed to be listening to a familiar melody returning on the wind. The white lilies, the mirrored social media posts, the dinners kept in the dark, the music that spoke for them, all of it felt like a map to a door neither had truly closed. The script of reality is often far more compelling than any fiction we could dream of. The white lilies may wilt, and the Instagram stories may expire after 24 hours, but the energy shifting between Çağatay Ulusoy and Hazal Kaya feels like a permanent alteration in the atmosphere of Istanbul. Are we witnessing the prologue of a new chapter, or the epilogue of a great romance finally getting the closure it deserves? We will remain your eyes and ears on the ground, deciphering every signal and every silence. If this story moved you, if you felt the weight of the nostalgia we explored today, please hit the like button and share this video with the friends who understand why this matters. And remember, to help us keep News Around independent and capable of bringing you these deep dive reports, click the join button to become a member of our exclusive inner circle. Your support is the heartbeat of this channel. Until next time, keep watching the signs. Goodbye.